Hi everyone. In this video, we will discuss all the type B questions of chapter 3, Computer Science with Python, class 12. This chapter is about working with functions. Now, the first question is, what are the errors in the following code? Correct the code and predict the output. And you can see here the code is like this. Total is equal to 0. After that, one semicolon is given, which is not required in Python. Now, one function is defined, and before the function definition, there is one indentation which is not required. Now, the function ends with a semicolon, that's correct. But after that, the function body should begin with one indentation, which is not given here. So that's the error over here. Now, we'll go to next line, return total. Here, return statement is outside the method sum. So it will not be reached by the method. So that's another error. Along with one semicolon is also given, which is also not required. Now, when the function is called sum 10 and 20, that's fine, but there should not be any semicolon over there. And finally, print statement. So these are all the errors in this code. The correct code is like this. The function is defined def sum with a colon over there. Now the function body is there with an indentation. Now the function is called sum with the values 10 and 20 and it is printed. So this is what the correct code, and the corresponding output will be total is equal to 30 and total is equal to 0, because the second total is accessing the global value of the total. Now the next program is like this. Here one function tot is defined, but with the definition colon is missing. And the second error is here range keyword should be written in lowercase, but here R is an uppercase. Now the return statement also the return keyword should be in a lowercase, but here it is written in uppercase, which is another error. Now the total function is called, but while calling the function, the argument is given within square brackets, which is another error. It has to be given within parentheses. The next error is also same thing. The same argument is called within square brackets. The correct code is like this. Def total will be associated with a colon, and range keyword should be in lowercase. Return keyword is also should be in lowercase. And while calling the function, the argument should be given within parentheses instead of square brackets. And the output is like this, 6 and 21. Now the next program is to write the flow of execution for the following code. Okay, now let's see. It will start executing with the first line. So line number 1 will be executed first, which is the definition of a function. Now it will come out of that. Now the next line to be executed is fifth line, where there is another function which is defined. Now it will come out of that. The next line to be executed is line number 9, which is one global variable declared, that is n is equal to 5. Then it will execute line number 10, where result is calculated by calling the function calc square. So it will again go back to line number 5, where the function is defined. After executing the line number 5, it will go into inside the function definition, encounter with line number 6. There again it will find that another function power is called. So it will search for that particular function definition where it is. So it will go back to line number 1 to go to the function definition of the power of the function power. Now it will execute line number 1, 2 and 3, and the returned value will be returned to line number 6 where the function is called, and the value is stored in a variable a. Now line number 7 is executed where the value a is returned, and it will be returned to the variable result. So it will again go to line number 10, and finally it will execute line number 11. Now the next question is what the following function will return. The function is like this: def add m, which is adding three values x, y and z, and printing the values x plus y plus z. Now let's see the answer. The function will not return anything because the function doesn't have a return statement. So it returns none. However, when called, it will print the sum of the three arguments. So the output will be the numbers will be added and it will print the values, but the function will not return anything as there is no return statement in this function. Now the next question is what the following function will print. Here a function is defined and after that one return statement and after that one print statement is there. So what will happen here? The function will not print anything when called. Why? Because the print statement is written after the return statement. Whenever there is return statement is encountered, the function body ends over there. The function definition ends over there. It will not reach the print statement which is written after the return statement. So it will not be executed. The print statement will not be executed. So the function will not print anything. However, if called within print statement, like I have called here print, within that add m, within that I have passed three values 1, 2 and 3, then it will print the sum of the arguments. Now what will be the output of the following code? As you can see here, one variable globally defined num is equal to 1 and the function is there my function which is returning num. Now next print statement which is out of the function definition. Now another print statement where my function is called. Now finally print the value of num. So as you can see here, the first print num will obviously print the global value of num because this print statement is outside of the function. The next print statement where my function is called, this will also print the global value of num as no local value is assigned to the variable num within the method. Now the final print statement will also access the global value of num as it is calling the global value only. So the output will be 1, 1 and 1. Now here the same function, same program is little bit modified. Here num is a global variable initialized with 1 and another function is defined my function where a new value 10 is assigned to the same variable num. So in this function, when this function will be called, then the value of num will be 10. And finally when num function, finally when it is printing num again, it will print the global value. So as you can see, the three print statement, the first print statement will access the global value and second print statement where the function is called, it will print the local value of num which is local to the function and the third one will print the global value of num. So the output will be 1, 10 and 1. Now the function is again modified little bit. First of all, the global variable num is initialized with 1 and within our function we have used a statement global num. That means whatever new value will be given to the variable num in this function, that will become global after the function is called, once the function is called. Now after that it is printing num three times. First print num will print the global value of num, that is 1. And second time when the function is called within the print statement, so it will print the local value of num which is local to the function. That means the value is 10. Now third time when print num is called, once the function is called, the global statement used with num indicates now the new value of num will be used globally. So now this time the value num is equal to 10 becomes global. Okay, so the first print statement will print num is 1, second one is obviously 10, and third time it will print 10 because of the statement global num, the new value of number num 10 that became global. Here display function is defined. Within that one print statement is there hello and ends with a space and display function is called. After that it is printing there. Now the output is like this, hello there. End parameter in print statement is used to end the print statement with another character other than new line. If you don't give any end parameter with print statement, then it will by default end with a new line. If you don't give end, then it would have printed hello in the first line, there in the second line. But we have just given end is equal to nothing. So not even a space is also not there. So no space is there in between hello and there, and no new line is formed after the print statement. Now the next question is to predict the output of the following code where a is equal to 10, y is equal to 5, and one function is defined within that y is equal to a and a is equal to 2. Then it has to print y and a. Then it has to print a plus y. Then return a plus y. Now print y is equal to y and a is equal to a. Here the output is y is equal to 5 and a is equal to 10. It will access the global values of y and a. Now next, if you call this one print my function, I have kept it under comment. Why? Because this function will create an error as a is referenced before assignment. Okay, so however, if we first assign a is equal to 2 and then y is equal to a inside the function definition, then the output will be like this: y is equal to 2 and a is equal to 2, and a plus y is equal to 4, and it will return 4. Now, since this line will give error, so I have kept it under comment. Now the last print statement, y is equal to y, a is equal to a, the output is y is equal to 5 and a is equal to 10. It will access the global values. Now what's wrong with the following function definition? Here one function is defined, then one return statement is there. After that one print statement is written. Now here the print statement will not be executed by the compiler since the function definition will end whenever it will encounter the return statement, and the print statement will not be reached by the compiler. Now write a function, namely fun, that takes no parameters and always returns none. So we have defined a function def fun. Within that we have just written a print statement. That's it. And here the function does not take any argument and returns none because there is no return statement in this function. So if you just try to call the function fun and store it in a variable f, then you can see that the value of f is none. Now consider the code below and answer the questions that follow. Here there is a function multiply is defined with parameters number 1 and number 2. Answer is equal to number 1 into number 2, and it will print number 1 times number 2 is equal to answer. We will return the answer. The output is a variable which will store the value returned by the function multiply by passing the arguments 5 and 5, and it will print the value of output. Now the first question is, when the code will be executed, what it will print? It will print 5 times 5 is equal to 25 as the function is called. Now the variable output will store the returned value, that is 25. Consider the code below and answer the question that follow. Here one function is defined multiply with arguments number 1 and number 2, and answer is equal to number 1 into number 2. And there is a return statement which is returning the answer. After that it is printing number 1 times number 2 is equal to answer. Now output is equal to multiply 5 comma 5. Okay, now when the code will be executed, it will not print anything. Nothing gets printed as print statement will not be reached because it is coming after the return statement. And whatever is written after the return statement, that is not the part of the function definition. Function definition will get over whenever return statement will be encountered. Now the variable output will store the returned value, that is 25. Find the errors in the code given below. So there is a function which is defined over here, and there is absolutely no error in this. However, only the colon was missing in the function definition, which I have given over here. Once you put the colon, it will work perfectly fine. And because print statement is there before the return statement, so the entire function body will be considered, no problem. Now we have to find out the errors in this code. As you can see here, define check. Here define is not a keyword. We have to use def instead. Now n is equal to input enter n. Here, since we have to do some arithmetic operation, the value which is entered, that has to be converted into integer type. It should not be kept as it is string type. So we can't just write directly input. We have to convert into int. That is the second error. Now the last error is the return statement, return keyword should not be written in uppercase. It has to be written in lowercase. Now the correct code can be like this: def check with a colon, n is equal to int input enter n, I is equal to 3, answer is equal to 1 into I to the power 4 by n, and return answer. Now within the print statement we have called the function check, and once you run the program with the entered value n as 9, then it will give the output as 10. Now let's have a look on this program. Def alpha, one function alpha is defined over here, but as you can see here, there are two return statements in this function. So the second return statement will not be reached by the compiler. The function definition will end with the first return statement. Now go to the next function, that is beta, def beta, which is returning some value string is equal to str of n. So here it's trying to access a variable n, which is not globally available. This is local to another function alpha. So it will not be accessed. That is another error. Now, if you correct the code, the corrected code can be written like this: df alpha with one return statement. Let's say it is returning n. Now, once it is returning n, now the beta function will work fine with the variable n. Now it will print alpha Valentine's Day, alpha 5 goodbye. Like this, you can call the functions. Now draw the entire environment including all user-defined variables at the timeline 10 is being executed. Now let's go through the program like this. There are three functions: sum, length, and mean. Okay, within the mean function, basically sum and length, these two functions are called. Okay, now let's see. And as you can see in this picture, there is a global environment for the program. Then within that, local environment of main function is there. Within the local environment of main function, there are present the local environment of sum function and local environment of length function with the corresponding variables. Those are present here. So this is how we can represent the environment of line number 10 being executed. Now next question is to draw the flow of execution for the above program. As you can see, the line numbers like this. First line will be executed. That means one function definition is there, and it will come out of that function definition. We'll go to line number 6 where the next function length function is defined. Now it will come out of that, and we'll go to line number 9 where main function is defined. Now it will come out of that again. We'll go to line number 12 where print statement is there. And within print statement, sum function is called. So it will again go to the line number 1 and sum function is executed by executing line number 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then it will again come back to line number 12. Next function to be executed is length function. So it will go to line number 6 where length function is defined and will execute line number 6 and 7. And again come back to line number 12. Here, the next function to be called is mean function, which is defined in line number 9. So it will go to line number 9, and line number 9 and 10 will be executed. And in line number 10, again the function sum and length are called. So from line number 10, it will again go to line number 1 and will execute the function sum by executing line number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll come back to line number 10. Then we'll execute line number length, function length by going to line number 6. We'll execute line number 6 and 7 and come back to line number 10. Now whatever is the value returned from line number 10 will go back to line number 12. So this is the flow of execution of this program. Now in the following code, which variables are in the same scope? There are two functions, function 1 and function 2. In function 1, there are two variables a and b. In function 2, there are two variables c and d. And there is another global variable e is equal to 5. So the variables a and b are in the same scope, in the scope of function 1, and c and d are in the same scope, which is scope of function 2. Next, write a program with a function that takes an integer and prints the number that follows after it. Call the function with these arguments. Let's do this program. Let's say I've defined a function called nextInt, which will accept one variable a as argument and will print the next value of a by adding 1 with it. I will call this function with all these different kinds of values: 4, 6, 8, 2 plus 1, 4 minus 3 into 2, minus 3 minus 2, like this. And you can see the corresponding output like this. Next integer for 4 is 5, for 6 is 7, for 8 is 9, like this. Now write a program with non-void version of the above function and then write flow of execution for both the programs. Now since it has to be non-void version, that means it has to return something. The function should have a return statement. So we have modified the function program like this: df next int a, and here it will return a plus 1, and it will print next int 4, next int 6, like this. That means the function is called within print statement, so that it will print the returned values. Now flow of execution for question 15 is like this. First line will be executed first where a function is defined. So it will skip the function definition part and will go to the line number 3 where the function is called. Now again it will go to where the function is defined, that is line number 1, and will go through the function definition. So after line number 1, line number 2 will also be executed. And after printing the statement, it will come out, go to the line number 4. Again, in line number 4, the same function is called, so it will go to line number 1 and will execute the function by executing line number 1 and 2. Then it will come out and go to line number 5. Like this, the function, the flow of execution will go through. Now the flow of execution for question number 16 is like this. Here the function contains one return statement. So first line will be executed where the function is defined. So it will skip the definition part and come out of the function, go to line number 3 where within the print statement the function is called. So it will again go to the function definition part, which is written in line number 1, and will execute line number 2. Here in line number 2 there is a return statement, so it has to return to the place where the function is called. So it will again come to line number 3 where the function is called. And after printing the value, it will go to line number 4. Here in line number 4, the same function is called again. So it will go to the function definition part, which is line number 1 and 2. And in line number 2, the return statement is there. So it will again return to the function. So it will again go to line number 4. Then line number 5, then 1, 2, again go to line number 5. Then line number 6, 1, 2, and again go to line number 6. Like this, it will continue. Now, what is the output of the following code fragment? One function increment is defined. Within that, one value n is passed. Now, n is appended with another value called 4. Now, return n. So, there is one list 1, 2, 3 which is defined. Now, m is a variable which will store the incremented value of L by appending 4 with L. Now print L and M. Now here when increment function is executed, that time list L is already appended with 4. So L becomes same as M. The output is like this. Now here the increment function is there with a variable n. Now it will be appended with a value called 49. Now it will return four values, n of 0, n of 1, 2, and 3. And let's say there is a list having three values, 23, 35, and 47. And the increment function is called for L, and the return value stored in a variable m1, m2, m3, and m4. So as you can see here, m1 will store the value 23, m2 will store 35, m3 will store 47, and m4 will store 49, which is appended. Now L will be like this. As you can see, 23, 35, 47, and 49 appended in the last of the list. Now print m1, m2, m3, and m4. It will print the corresponding values, and finally it will print L of 3 is equal to m4 or not. Yes, L of 3 is 49. That means the number present and index number 3 is 49. So that is also the same as m4. So the return value is true. Now here ends the solutions of chapter 3, type B of chapter working with functions. Now if there is any doubt, you can put in comment section. Now in the upcoming videos, we will discuss the rest of the type B questions. And thank you.